Hey crafty friends, welcome back to the channel, and if this is your first time here, welcome. I am Catrice, and today we are going to work on my to-do list. I want to finish up some projects, and I may do some sublimation today. I know we're going to do some HTV, so let me get this camera repositioned and we can go ahead and get started with the video. Okay, the first project up on the table for today is this HTV, and it says welcome home. And what I want to do is see if I can put it on this pillow that I keep on a chair in the house, and this is the front of the pillow, and then the back is like that. So I'm going to use my Cricut mini press, so I think that would be perfect for this type of project, and hopefully it stays. So I'm just going to kind of go over it just to steam out some of the wrinkles and moisture in the fabric. And this fabric is kind of reminds me of a canvas type fabric, the feel of it, and then it has some little scallop embroidery design on it. I'm just getting that little string off. So let's see how this goes. And this is the 405 Hobby Lobby HTV vinyl. And we are going to just kind of lay it down there and sit it up. So bring it down just a little bit more. Let me get my heat press tape so when I get it in place, I don't want it to move. And the heat press tape, the heat tape that I use is by Cricut brand. I like their heat tape because it's a lot thicker than what I found on Amazon. All right, so I'm just gonna hold it up so it looked like that. And this file is an SVG from Creative Fabrica. And when I saw it, I said, ooh, that'll look really nice on a pillow. So I've had it in my folder on my laptop for quite a while. Now, I'm gonna put my hand under here so I can get a little bit of pressure. It says that this vinyl, it only needs about 5 seconds, and it's a low heat, low temp vinyl is what they advertised it as at Hobby Lobby. Went to my Home Depot at Hobby Lobby. So we will see. And I used this vinyl on another project using the larger press, and it went down perfect. But this might be a little tricky because the pillow is not, it's not a solid surface. So I'm not getting a lot of pressure. And I can see that my little, what is that? The O kind of curved up a little bit. So let me get the, let me just get, see if I can, y'all know me, it's not HTV vinyl if I don't perform some surgery. Okay, I don't know what happened. I guess the O was a little twisted when I put it down. But we shall see. I really hope this worked because I actually like this font, or this file I should say, because it's really not a font. So maybe I just hold it in place. Okay, let's see what we've got. Hopefully it works. Ooh, so far so good. I'm gonna give it a second press. That is perfect. And I always come over here and forget something. I was looking for my butcher paper. Oh, I've got some in the drawer. So just gonna put this paper on top of it to give some of the areas a little more steam. And hopefully this works. It looks like it is. And one more section. I think that'll be it. All right, let's see what we've got. Oh, yeah, I like that. Let me see, can I get this top part of this O that wants to act up? Just gonna put one layer. Yeah, I'm not gonna rub it. I'm just gonna kind of try and give it a little bit of pressure. And this pillow has a zipper on it on the back, and I probably should have pulled the form out before I tried to heat press on it. Anyway, that'll work. That's that. Oh, it turned out so pretty. I like that. So that is the pillow. Okay, so first project for the day is all complete. Let me move this back over my mini press and cut it off. Okay, so the next project I'm going to do is, I'm thinking about, so I have two in mind. Well, you know what? Let me just do the HTV flag that I want to put in my yard, and then I'll go to the reverse canvas. Because I'm excited to get to the reverse canvas one. So I've got something in mind for it. So let me get the my bigger heat press all turned on and ready. And we'll get this design cut out. So this is a regular garden flag. I bought these in a pack off of Amazon. And I haven't, because they came in such a large pack. I bought these months ago. I don't even know if they still sell them, but I'll try and put a link if anybody's interested. But it's just like a satin material. It's really good for sublimation, and that's actually what I purchased them for. But anyway, they're really good with HTV vinyl and sublimation because they are 100% polyester. All right, so we are going to get this SVG cut using my handy dandy Cricut, get that all cut, and then I will come back on camera once the Cricut is finished cutting, and we'll be ready to put it down. Okay, we're over here at the heat press, and we're just gonna heat up this flag to get some of the moisture out of it, and hopefully some of the wrinkles will come out as well, because it's a little wrinkly. My heat press is not at the temp for the vinyl yet, but it's okay for doing something like this because it's already at 266 degrees. And I just kind of want to press this out. This has been folded, like I said, a few months, so all the wrinkles may not get all the way out, but if we can get a little, I'll be satisfied with that. And then we'll go back to the craft table and do some weeding while the htvront gets up to the heat that I need it to be at. So see, it's kind of still, I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's still a little crease in there, but I think that'll be okay. It should be all right. Okay, we're gonna head over to the craft table. Okay, let's put this down right here. Set that out the way. So I have I have everything already cut out. And this was an SVG, but I kind of cut it apart so that I can save on some vinyl because I wanted it to be a few different colors. And you know how when you go in with an SVG, it will eat up the vinyl. So I just went into Cricut Design Space and what do you call it? Closed. It didn't let me do the, what am I trying to say? In Cricut Design Space, you can go in and hide. That's what I'm trying to come up with. Ungroup the file and hide some of the words, and then just cut the portion that you want cut out. And then that will save it. I think I need some coffee because I have been so tired-tongued today. All right, so I'm just gonna weed this out, and I hear the machine just beep, so it is ready for me. And let me get the heat press tape, put it back over here. So it says stop and smell the flowers, and you guys will see it come to light in just a few minutes. I'm going to bring the image back up on over here on my laptop so I can make sure that I'm weeding what I'm supposed to be, and I don't end up tearing up the vinyl, because you know that can happen. But HTV is pretty forgiving. Even if you make a mistake and lift where you're not supposed to, the heat will end up laying it back down, which is a good thing. And now I just need to, this is that htvvinyl that I'm using, vinyl that I'm using, and it's a little difficult to see where you're supposed to be weeding. I don't know why, but it is. So I'm going to go ahead and a little trick for that, I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. If you take your vinyl piece and you fold it, you can see where you need to weed, because the line is going to separate. It's going to try and separate, and then you'll see where you need to go. So I should have done that on this O, because I just messed up my O, but it's okay because it's only a garden flag for me. It's not a gift or anything. So it doesn't have to be close to perfect. But yeah, just take this and kind of fold it. If you fold like that, you can see where you need to weed and not weed. So let's see if we can get in frame over here. So now I am going to put this back down. And when you're using HTV, make sure you don't have any specks of vinyl on the back of the courier sheet, because it'll print on your project. And you don't want that. And this little piece of speckle just want to hang around. Okay, so let me get this on here as somewhat straight as I can before the press cuts off. So this was all attached, and I took it apart, because if I had left this part that I want purple, I would have had to tear up this part of the purple vinyl. So what I did was I put the I cut it in half and then just put it where it needed to be, if that makes sense. And I'm going to trim this down just a little bit. I bought some sticky scissors that I'm supposed to be using, and not my regular scissors. And all the time I forget to bring them out. So it's going to get the word "and." I'm going to trim this down a little bit. I don't know why this looks a little crooked to me, but it might not be. It might just be. Sometimes when I cut the carrier sheet not so straight, it can look a little crooked. I'm going to bring the word "and" up just a little bit, because on the actual file it was a little closer in. So I'll just bring that up a little and put this right there, and then put that down there. So basically I had 4 different color vinyls. Now I'm going to put the green leaves on. I put that on next because it needs to go here, and I didn't trim my carrier sheets well enough. So let me see if that's almost where it needs to be. Let's get this here. I'm gonna try. Y'all know me. I will. Woo. Me and my overthinking. I tell you, I need a 12-step program or something. Okay, let's put this on here. I'm just gonna, even though the back is sticky, it's not too sticky to me. So I'm just gonna use this tape to hold it in place. All right, I think we're good here. So when I come back, this will be pressed already. And it is ready to be peeled. So this is the Hobby Lobby brand of HTV. And it is supposed to be a warm or a cool peel. And so far, I've used this a few times this week, and it peels well, both warm and cool. So sometimes when you take it off the press, you may not be ready to peel the carrier off right then and there. It's okay, because it'll still come off fine. Now this piece here at the top, when I hold this back up, you're going to see that, oh, what I was talking about. But when I do this second press, it might work itself out. Oh, that's pretty. I don't know if I want to put this green on here or not, but maybe I will, since it's supposed to be in a garden. We'll go ahead and add that on there. It won't hurt. So let's get that down. Okay. So I was thinking about not putting these two on here, but I went ahead and put them on there. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's a little emotional. So when I do this second press, what I'm going to do is put this butcher paper over it, make sure I cover up everything so that it doesn't burn onto my heat press. Because the last thing I ever want to do is get some vinyl stuck on my heat press. All right, so let me go back over to the heat press and be right back. And we are back. Okay. Oh yeah, it almost worked itself out. Okay, so now I can cut this off for now. Put this back up. And here is the finished product. So, and it says stop and smell the flowers. I had to think for a minute. So that is that. And then that's how the O in the top of that S. The S worked itself out, but the O has a little bit, but nobody's gonna see it that far away. So I like this. I'm glad I put the green leaves on the side because I almost canceled them. Okay, so now it is time for the reverse canvas trick again. So we tried this in the last video. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see that or not, but if you didn't, go back and take a look at that video. I'm gonna, I'm still learning the YouTube app. So I'm gonna try, you know how people say, I'm gonna link the video here. If I do that, the video will probably show up somewhere over there or won't even show up in the link. But I'm gonna try and link that video where I did the reverse canvas and it was a hot mess. So we're gonna try this again. Last time I used the Dollar Tree canvas, so this time, and it wasn't the canvas or anything, it was the operator, me. I got this out of Ollies. When I went on vacation, I came back, I did a haul on these and I bought 2 of these. So, and they were $1.99 and this one is a 12 by 12 and coming out of Ollies, so I'm going to poke a hole in this and get it open all up. And now I know, where to cut, because remember in the last video, I was trying to figure out how to, was I cutting it right? Was I cutting it, too far off the line? All kind of stuff. So let me get my little Cricut X-Acto knife. And the reason I have the vinyl here is because I am going to, okay, so this is that HTV Hobby Lobby that gave me the fits in the last video. the video that I did on the t-shirt, and I vowed never to use it again. But I do have these 3 scrap pieces that I need to use. So what I decided to do is embroider with it, with my embroidery machine. And the design is going to be these 3 hearts. So what I'm going to, and you guys will see all this play out, but what I'm going to do is just peel the carrier sheet off of here, lay it down on the canvas, and then let the embroidery machine stitch the design out, and take it from there. So we're going to do that and see. And now, just straight off the back, I'm noticing this wood. That is my favorite color, just natural wood. And that is actually what my craft room decor is. It's pretty much white furniture in here, and I have a lot of natural wood. Okay, look at me already cutting on the wrong side. Woo. I'm gonna learn how to do this after I do about 10,000 of them. All right, so basically you need a sharp X-Acto knife, and you just cut on the outer side of the staples. And when I say outer side, what I'm talking about is go here closer to the outside. And we want to just kind of pull it apart. And I can also tell that this this canvas is a lot thicker and more durable than than the one that's on the Hobby Lobby. They're both, the Hobby Lobby brand is, why I keep saying Hobby Lobby? The Dollar Tree canvases are good. They're very good. But this seems like it's a little better. Simply because, one, this wood is amazing. Now, I live in the Atlanta area, and I got this when I was in St. Augustine, because I didn't see these at the Ollies that I went to near me. But I'm definitely going to go on the hunt for them, because I think I'm going to get mine out of Ollies from now on, if this turns out like I think. I think I have a different X-Acto knife. That is, I think this one here is a little sharper. I think I ended up using this one in the last video. Oh yeah, that's much sharper. I got to remember that, because I need this little Cricut thing. I've been here all day trying to cut through this stuff. So I am so excited to see how this wood is going to look when I take this off. Oh yeah, y'all see how easy that this is slicing down? So I think it's time for me to either sharpen that, or I don't have to go on the Cricut website and see if they have, what do you call it, blades replacement. Get this down. Now, people do this so gracefully. The other channels that I've watched, and I don't know why I can't do this. Like, they just slice and open and be like, voila. So I may fast forward this a little bit at this point, because I know y'all don't want to watch me struggle and wrestle with this vinyl. So yes, I'm going to fast forward this part, and then we will see what we have. Okay, got that off, barely. Let me put these little knife situations back up and out the way. All right, so look at that. Now, I absolutely love this. I don't know if it's picking up on camera or not, but it's kind of like a beveled effect going in. It's not a I'm gonna try and turn it all kind of angles for you guys to see, but it's more like a beveled effect, and not, so in other words, it's not straight across, it's not flat. This kind of comes out a little bit. This is going to be gorgeous. Okay. Ooh, I'm excited now. I could tell from the packaging that it looked a little differently, but I didn't know it was going to be this nice. And then the wood is a lot heavier than what they sell at the Dollar Tree, so it's a lot heavier. And it's almost the same price. This was $1.99. So I'm just going to try and kind of clean up the little back part. One thing's for sure, you're going to do a little bit of work to get the canvas off, but trust me, to get to this wood is definitely worth it. You know, this is almost nice enough for me to hang in the house part. Maybe a room in my house, because I was going to make something for my craft room. And now you don't have to go through and take this part off back here, but I'm going to do it just because I'm going to use heat press glue, and I want it to have good contact with the wood. I think it lasts a little longer. So let's get this. Ooh, I'm glad I didn't do this project first. I would have been a little tight. Because you're going to get a workout with this. Don't cut yourself with the scissors when y'all do this. Don't be like me. Okay. I'll work on getting this part out a little later. Yeah, take that off right now. Okay. So now, the fun part. The canvas, you can actually do either side. A lot of people I know use the more oatmeal colored side, and it probably looks the same. Oh, this is the oatmeal colored side. Yeah, so this is the oatmeal colored side, and then this is the brighter side. So I'm going to use this side, which was the back of the canvas. Now, what I'm going to do is lay this down straight as I can, and then, where's my pencil? Go ahead and trace so that I know where to cut. And then once it's straight, I just want to make sure. Okay. So yeah, so just take your pencil and you want to trace along the outside of the wood. And then when you go to cut, I think you cut on the inside. And of course, the pencil didn't show up on the two sides. So I'm going to just kind of go back. Yeah. Let me slide this down a little. See where we are. I'm just trying to make sure I stay in line. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and trace that and trace that side. Yep, now I got it. Okay. So now that I have this traced, we're going to go ahead and trim. When I was holding this down, I was thinking, do I want to trim this after I embroider on it so that I can have more of a fabric to be held on the, you know what, that's what I'm going to do. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about when I'm getting my little hoops out. Okay, so these are called mighty hoops that I use with my embroidery machine. And this is an 8x8. So what I'm going to do is hoop with this. So I didn't want to cut this down and not have enough room for it to hold onto for my hoop to hold onto the fabric. And leaving it, I'm glad I remembered that. So leaving it is giving it enough space to hold on. So now what I have to do is pull, and I don't know if you guys, I might not be in camera view over here, but what I'm doing is pulling up the design that I want. Not in Cricut Design Space. This is over here in Embroidery, which is a software that allowed me to print like this. And it has crosshairs on there because that's where the laser pointer is going to go on the machine. And you guys will get to see all of that. So what I'm doing now is just saving this on my little, this little drive here. And I'm putting it into my laptop and go ahead and save the file. And then we will, let's get this hooped already. And let me get my little stabilizer out. I don't think I need too much. I think, where's my little, yeah, that's gonna be. So what I do is I take the canvas, and I'm going to take the picture of my design and place it right here. And let me get my, we're going to switch out tapes. We're going to go from the heat press tape to embroidery tape. And I use Kimberbell embroidery tape, but you can use any embroidery tape. I just like their brand. So I'm just going to put that there to hold it in place till we get up to the machine. All right, so let me make sure this is actually straight and centered, because once the embroidery goes down, it is down. There is no pulling it up unless you want to take out a million pieces of thread. And we don't have time for that today, or actually any day. Okay, so I'm just saving my file over here, and then I will head over to the machine, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing in just a second. So when we get over to the machine, we'll be ready to go ahead. So now that I have this on here, this is tearaway stabilizer. So I'm going to just kind of cut a big piece out like that. And I'm going to hoop my mighty hoop. So this is the top portion of the mighty hoop, and I'm just going to turn it over. If you see that warning sign, it's just letting people know if you wear a pacemaker, you don't want to fool with mighty hoops because the magnets are very strong and it could turn off your pacemaker. So don't do that if you're wearing one of those. Okay, so I've got this down. So I put the hoop down first on the table, and then I have the stabilizer that's going down. And then you want to put your fabric or whatever it is you're embroidering on, put that down, which is always some sort of fabric. And making sure. Okay, so now that I have that down, I'm going to clamp. This is the top. The first piece was the bottom part, and then this is the top part. So now I want to clamp it down, and it stays. And you kind of want to get that, you hear that? You want to hear that drum effect, and you know that you are okay. Let's do another little piece of tape here. Okay, so this is what we have. Now we are going to head over to the embroidery machine, which I lovingly call Emmy. I've named her. So let me reposition the camera and we'll go over there. Okay, so we are over here at the embroidery machine. I'm going to bring you guys in a little closer. And now what I'm going to do is I have the file already loaded on the machine. So I'm just going to take the hoop and put it on the machine like that, and make sure it's locked in very well. Okay, so now let's see if I can get you guys right there. Okay, I'm going to click the word. I have a baby lock, by the way, and I'm just going to go ahead and center the file using that little laser hair mark, so that way I know it's going to embroider right where I want it to. Okay, so now we are good to go. And next thing I'm going to do is a trace, because I'm not using the hoops that come with the machine. This is the Mighty Hoops, which is a company that specializes in hoops for embroidery. And I always want to just do a trace, even though I know we have plenty of room, but it's just good practice to do a trace before you start embroidering. And that's what the machine is doing now. Bring you guys down a little bit like that. Okay. All right, so now it's already centered. I can take this off. And a little bit of the tape came in contact with the hoops. I'm just going to rip the tape off, so it's good. All right, so now we're going to do what's called a tack down stitch. The machine is going to do that first, and then when that's finished, I'll come back on camera. So the first part is already stitched out. So what that is the top half of the heart. And the only thing I need to do now is put the HTV down. I've already taken off the plastic backing for it. So this is the sticky part, that's the design part. And I'm just gonna lay it down on top like that. And I'm going to use some embroidery tape to tape it down so that it stays in place. So basically what you want to do is just put it, make sure it's covering the stitch line of the design like that. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take this back to the machine and let it go ahead and tack this down on the canvas. All right, so now we're at the part where we can trim this HTV down. So I have my little applique scissors that have a little curved bottom to them. So like that. And it just keeps you from cutting. If this was fabric, it would keep me from cutting the fabric. So we're going to just cut as close as I can to the stitch line without ripping the stitch line. And sometimes you have to just turn it all different ways. So I may fast forward this, but I wanted to start out in regular speed so that you guys can actually see what I'm doing. And then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. So I got that as close as I could to the stitch line without hitting the stitch line. So I'm just going to take this little lint roller and just kind of roll across to make sure I pick up any extras so that it doesn't heat press. All right, now I'm going to get my heating pad. All right, so this is what I use. And then what I'm going to do is just pick this up. And when you're doing embroidery, you never ever take the design out the hoop until you're completely finished, because the machine will get all out of line and you can't reline it up again. You have to start all over. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, and because I have the carrier sheet off, I'm going to use my butcher paper and place that on top. And let me go over here and get it. I don't know why I can't keep stuff where I'm working. Okay, so we're gonna just kind of press this down like that. And that way it just, you don't want it coming up. If this was something that you wear, you definitely want to do this step, because when you wash it, it may or may not separate, but you don't want to go through all this trouble of embroidering and then it comes apart. All right, so got that done. Now we are going to take this back to the machine and let it do the top stitch. And then I'll come back and show you guys that. So the design just finished embroidering, and that's what we have. And now it is time to just get this off the hoop. If I can stand it up straight. All right. So I'll take it off the hoop, and I'm going to just clamp those back on and sit these over here. And this stabilizer is tear away, so I can just basically rip it away. Just like the name says. And this is what we have on the back. And then we've got the front. So now all I have to do is trim inside the line that I drew. So we're going to get that trimmed nicely. Okay, got that all nicely trimmed, and I've got the frame here. So while I was waiting on the machine to finish embroidering, I went ahead and took that little extra canvas that was here. But these corner pieces were too tough for me to pull, so I left them there, and they would be okay. Oh, that's gonna be so cute. All right, so now comes the fun part of taping. I almost cut this too short. Taping back the canvas on the actual frame. So let me move this out the way. And my glue gun is over here heating up, and hopefully it is ready. So it's a corded glue gun. Let me see if I can slide you guys down a little bit. All right, so it's a corded glue gun, and I don't want to pull it out the socket, so I might not be able to be too much in frame, but I will try. So make sure I got this the right way that I want it to hang. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm just gonna put, let me lay this down. Let me get situated. All right, so I'll put that across there. Is that good? Yeah. And a good thing about this wood, even if you cut it a little, if you cut the canvas a smidgenly too short, the wood is so thick, it'll still fit on the canvas. So let's just put this on here. If I can get this to glue down. Whoops. I don't want to put too much. All right, so let's get this on top. Got a little bit of extra coming out right there. And I'm just gonna get a little bit of this paper. I don't wanna burn my fingers. Okay. Alrighty, so that worked for there. And you see this little, I don't know if you can see or not, but I'm gonna cut that little excess off. Alrighty, so that went down nicely. Let me just flip this over, make sure we're good, and we are. I forgot to, I should have pressed these little corners out from where the embroidery hoop clamps down so tightly, it put a wrinkle in it, but that's fine. But I'm gonna tell you, if you guys have an Ollies in your area, run, don't walk, and get these frames. Because for $1, what was it? I have to look back at the tag, $1.70, $1.90, less than $2. It is definitely worth it. If you like this thick kind of framed look, then it is definitely worth it. Okay, make sure my glue gun is working. Alrighty, so now we are over here on the last end. I cannot wait to hang this up. Now I got to figure out where I'm going to hang it in my craft room. I don't know if I mentioned or not, but the file is from Creative Fabrica. They also do have embroidery files as well, not just all SVGs. So, is that the top? Yeah. Okay. I was trying to yank back up what I just glued down. All right, so we're going to get this on here. Get that settled. All right. And I may go back and, you know what, let me put just a little bit of glue here. I think one of these edges is coming too far over. Yeah, right here. So this little edge right here was, you see how that, I'm just gonna cut that off. And make that nice and flushed with the frame. I don't know how that happened. So I'm just gonna lay it down so I can give it a good cut. Okay, give it a good cut. All right, oh, that is the cutest thing ever. Look at that, love it. Love, love, love it. All right. So just making sure, what is that? Got a piece of glue. Okay guys, so that is the little heart frame from Ollies for $1 and I think it was $1.90 something. But let me go ahead and reposition the camera so I can sign off for you guys. Okay friends, so my battery is on its last leg, so we're gonna make this quick. But this is the garden flag that says stop and smell the flowers. That's gonna be hanging outside. And I think this might be my favorite for today, the welcome home on the pillow. And all of these SVGs are Creative Fabrica, except this is not a SVG, this is an embroidery design. And so I can show up, yep. And that is the 3 hearts for the frame for Ollies. And that is it for today's video, and I hope you guys made it to the end. Thank you so much for being with me. I always appreciate you all watching the channel, and I can see that it is growing, and I definitely appreciate you all so much. So if you can, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And until the next time, I will see you guys in the very next video. Bye.